Hello everyone, Republic Jim here. It's a glorious late October morning, about 20 degrees. It's very frosty, but the fog is clearing off and I'm just on my way to work. So as usual, pardon the wind noise as I have my window open. Whoa. Sorry about that. Have to concentrate on my driving a little bit. Anyway, last week I was watching video from the Dark Horse podcast clips, and I'll put a link to that video down in the description. I watched it on Odyssey, so I'm sure they have a YouTube video also, but just because I happen to watch it on Odyssey, that's the link that I'll share. But it was a clip about a life hack by Bret, and talking about driving around in the winter with the window open and the heater on. And I just wanted to respond to that because, you know, anybody that's familiar with my channel knows that I've done a fair amount of videos about cold adaptation and the benefits of that. But in that video, Bret was talking about how we've gotten so used to climate control and comfort and such that it really is invigorating to have the window open and the heater going, and to have the mix of cold air blowing in with the hot air from the heater, and you know, you can watch the video and see what all he has to say about it. But I thought it was kind of funny that he called that a life hack. From my perspective, I see it as the introduction possibly to cold exposure, just kind of a more comfortable way to experiment with it a little bit. Obviously, I don't use my heater at all, and you know, I don't worry about having my arm out the window and such. I can, as the winter goes on, I get more adapted to the cold. I can do this down, you know, like below 20 anyway, fairly easily. Generally single digits, I start keeping my arm inside the window, but still with the window open and no heat, no coat. So, you know, Bret's life hack is like training wheels for that kind of, you know, just kind of dabbling in it. I think it's a good first step, but I think the body would adapt to that pretty quickly. And you know, yeah, it's kind of an interesting feeling with the mixture of warm and cold, but not especially intense or anything. And especially knowing that he's in the Portland area, I know from experience that Portland really doesn't get that cold anyway. You know, this 20-degree morning here in Republic, you know, in late October, that's like dead of winter temperatures for Portland. That's pretty extreme temperature there. And all the time I lived there, I rarely saw temperatures below 20 degrees. And, you know, here we can count on teens and single digits and stuff on a regular basis any time now going on through the rest of the year. So, you know, I would say, especially if you're in warmer areas like Portland or places where you're not going to get all that extreme temperatures, you know, go ahead and start out with that so-called life hack of running the heater, but then I recommend progressing and, you know, start doing it with the heater turned off or at least turned down and without a coat, and just start getting used to that in a safe environment where you know that if it gets too uncomfortable, you can go ahead and turn the heater on or put a coat on or even roll the window up if you need to. But you know, it's to start doing that regularly and pushing the limits, but still maintaining that safety margin, then gives you a chance to adapt and really start activating the brown adipose tissue. I don't think you're really going to get much BAT activation if you're running the heater also, but once you start just getting the prolonged cold exposure without the heater and ramping it up a bit, that's when the BAT activates and start feeling the body generating heat and being able to withstand much greater extremes. And you know, I think there's some real benefits to that, and to me that's the real life hack. You know, not just the dipping a toe in the water, but full on getting that complete adaptation and the BAT activation to where then you're capable of withstanding much greater temperatures. And you know, the other positive changes that it has on the body that I've discussed in some of the previous videos. If you haven't seen that, you know, check out my Batman playlist on YouTube. Sorry, I don't have playlists made up on Odyssey or Rumble, but I have multiple videos about cold adaptation and that topic. So anyway, that's just kind of some thoughts about Bret's video on the Dark Horse podcast clips. And again, recommend you check that out. I like a lot of the things that they talk about on that channel. I don't agree with everything, but in general, I like the way that they're open-minded and willing to look at different sides of a topic. And even though I don't agree with them politically, they're coming around a lot more to my views just because of their experience over the course of the last couple of years. So anyway, check them out. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.